Make, break, build.
Good morning to everyone, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Simon Cotter, part of the Oracle Linux and Virtualization Product Management team. Yeah, mostly responsible for some of the components around the cloud native for Oracle Linux and also virtualization. VBox, for example, is one of my products. So this morning we had a great keynote, and over there we also hear the DevOps concept, DevOps culture, mostly from Bob. And so let me do just a quick introduction related to DevOps, even if we already had a great keynote on the same concept. Are you familiar with this kind of thing? So at the end, you can see two people here. On the left, we have the operations, so usually a possible system administrator, and on the right, development. And what sometimes happens, or maybe even often, it really depends how a company is really organized. It happens that a developer is used to work on a development environment that can be even a laptop, for example. And over there, the code really works great. But when this code has to run on a production system that at the end maybe is totally different from the development environment, at that point maybe an issue is there, or maybe the most common cases could be related to performance issues, right? And this can be due to the amount of data that maybe you have on your own laptop compared to what is running on production system, but it could also be related to the possible differences between the two environments, what you're running on the development and what you're running on production environment. And so what usually happens at the end is that an issue is there and the development always says, yeah, it works. It perfectly works on my own machine, on my own development environment, while the same is not happening on the production one. And this is one of the cases. Another one is also related to maybe a step before. When the code is ready, it's not more a development problem. It's only an operation problem. Because the code is ready, the code is now running on production. At that point, the problem is only related to operations. And so, yeah, as you can see here the developer on the left saying, hey, here's our code, good luck. And on the right, obviously, you can see operations or the possible system administrator really worried about what is going to run on the production system. And yeah, a very important thing to also evaluate is that development and operations really have two different targets. At the end, development would like to adopt new technology as soon as possible. And at the same time, they want to enable the latest and greatest features for the business. And yeah, and as already said, in case of problems, they most likely are used to say, yeah, it perfectly works on my machine. On the other side, we have another team, so operations, that usually have a totally different set of targets. They want to have stability on production, for sure. They have to respect and to maintain service level agreements for the service. And so even the uptime and also security. And these kind of requirements can also slow down the business at the end, or the target of the development. And this team is used to say, yeah, but if it works, please do not change it. leave it at ease. The DevOps culture has the target to get those two teams working together. So we are not talking of technology here. We are just talking of a culture where development and operations really works together to cover all those targets, both the development and also operation targets. It's a culture, and obviously behind the culture, the technology is available. Today, I'm going to discuss, as you can imagine from the title of the session, on the infrastructure as a code. So tools dedicated to get the development environment built. But that said, there are so many other things that can be applied to the DevOps culture in different layers. Today, so we are going to see the infrastructure as a code, so the preparation of the development environment, so the possible operating system and what it's running on top. Let me now introduce the technology. So VirtualBox, how many of you are today using VirtualBox? Great. Yeah, you know, VirtualBox, created by a company named Innotech here in Germany. I also had been there. It's a great place. In the following years, Innotech has been acquired by Sun, and then Sun has been acquired by Oracle. So what is VirtualBox at the end? As you know, it's a desktop virtualization solution. It's maybe the most famous x86 virtualization solution. The cool thing of this solution is that the same software is today available for all the main x86 operating systems. And if you think on this, at the end, VirtualBox can be your abstraction layer between more developers. So it does not matter if I'm running Linux and another person is running Windows or even a Mac OS. At the end, everyone can leverage VirtualBox to get a sort of abstraction layer from the host operating system. And on top of the same, we support a wide range of guest operating system. It has a really great interface that we lately improved a lot, also on VirtualBox 6.0. And over there you can find all the common features related to virtualization solution. VirtualBox is a sort of particular product within Oracle, because on top of VirtualBox you can find the Oracle development and support, obviously, but at the same time there is a vibrant community working on the same, contributing on the same. So it's really, if you want, the open window on the open source from one of the open windows on the open source ecosystem for Oracle. I just want to mention one feature, one of the many features that we are addressing into Oracle VM VirtualBox 6. So today, by leveraging the latest release, the cool option is that if you want, you can get a VM, so a virtual machine running on VirtualBox. You can get the same virtual machine running on the Oracle Cloud. And you do not need to be an expert of the Oracle Cloud. You do not need to be an expert on networking, storage, and so on. Everything is available within the GUI. And the cool point is that you can develop on VBox, and when ready, if you want, you can deploy on production on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So VBox is our first technology. As already said, it can be your abstraction layer, right? Moving ahead, we have another product, again, an open source solution coming from HashiCorp. HashiCorp is the same company developing Terraform, Packer, and many other cool things for the cloud environments, both private and public cloud. How many of you already knows Vagrant? Okay. So Vagrant, at the end, provides the automation. Provides the automation on deploying your own VMs or your own applications. It's a solution available for all the x86 platforms, again, as VirtualBox. Yeah, and can rely on different hypervisors, even on container solution or cloud. So what does it do for VBox? At the end, by leveraging Vagrant, I'm able to automate the possible VM creation and even possible further steps on the same, like install my own application, configure my own application, execute any type of code within the VM on the first boot. And then we have Oracle Linux, so the operating system, or what you can run on top of VBox, and in an automated way by Vagrant. Oracle Linux, yeah, we started to public release Oracle Linux more than 12 years ago, sorry. Yeah, it's important to know that Oracle Linux is the operating system today powering the Oracle Cloud as well as all the Oracle engineering systems. So everything that you can run on top of the Oracle Cloud today runs on top of Oracle Linux. And at the same time today, if you're going to get a possible Oracle Exadata system, both on-premise or on the cloud, the same runs on top of Oracle Linux. We have thousands of enterprises, thousands of customers on Oracle Linux. We already saw more than 1 million Docker Hub downloads for Oracle Linux. And we as Oracle, we are today part of both the Linux Foundation and also the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. What does it mean? It means that at the end, into our solutions that could be related to the operating system or even the cloud native environment, we are not going to introduce any kind of lock-in. And as we saw this morning in the Bob session, this is really the road to follow up. Because at the end, if you're going to leverage a third-party solution with the same type of concept, but that is going to introduce a lock-in, at that point, you won't have any kind of option to switch to a possible better solution in the next future. And the cloud-native components, cloud-native world is really growing a lot today, and we expect to see growing more even in the future. Yeah, a truly open operating system. We are used to remind this kind of thing to everyone just because we perfectly know that Oracle, born as the Oracle database company or the proprietary software company. It's important to know that Oracle Linux is completely free. So it's free to use, free to distribute, and also free to update. You do not need any kind of account to download the software or even to get the updates for Oracle Linux. So ISOs for Oracle Linux are public available and even the free errata. So you can get all the updates for Oracle Linux without any kind of payment. We also release our kernel source code. On top of Oracle Linux, we have two types of kernels. We have the Red compatible kernel, and we also have the unbreakable kernel, so the Oracle kernel. That is at the end the kernel used on Oracle Cloud and Oracle Engineering Systems. And we always release the kernel source code. Lately, by an evaluation done on kernel.org, today Oracle is the third contributor for the kernel, for the Linux kernel. So at the end, it's really open, and our customers can choose if they want to pay the support for Oracle Linux. Just to give you an example, I can decide to use Oracle Linux. I can decide to use Oracle Linux for free on my own laptop, on test environment, development environment, even on production environment. I can decide, for example, to get the Oracle support only for the production environment. and they have the same updates, the same steps, the same things, even on all the other environments. So I do not need, for example, just to be clear, I do not need to use CentOS on development and Red Hat on production. I can use the same on all environments and decide where to get the support from Oracle. Lately, we also introduced many things for development and developers at the end. So we have YAM channels that at the end are channels where you can find software, RPMs, dedicated to developers. So we have channels dedicated to developer. We have the EPEL channel. So we decided to have our own EPEL channel, extra packages for enterprise Linux. You know, there are so many public EPEL channels available. We decided to have our own, because at that time, at that point, you will be sure that the software you are downloading is coming from an enterprise company like Oracle and not maybe from Simon Cotter as an hacker, right? And we also have software collections. So software collection at the end, by software collection, you can have the option to run latest releases of different languages. Could be PHP, could be Perl, could be whatever you need. And all those things today are also available for free on top of Oracle Linux. Moving ahead, how can I start to play with this kind of technology? At the end, something very easy. I just need to download and install VirtualBox on my own laptop, and the same kind of thing for Vagrant. And then after that, get a Vagrant box. What is a Vagrant box? A Vagrant box is a ready-to-run virtual machine. It's like a template. And this machine can be an operating system only machine, or can be an application, can be a service, can be whatever you want. And you can always customize this machine. You can start from an existing one and customize based on your requirements. And the boxes running on top, obviously, could be any x86 operating system. At the end, a Vagrant box is a VirtualBox machine ready to run, already configured. How can I get a Vagrant box? I can build my own, starting from the software ISO, but obviously this is not suggested. There are so many Vagrant boxes today available. There is an official catalog coming from HashiCorp, and over there you can find thousands and thousands of ready-to-run Vagrant boxes. You can find all the operating system. You can find even Windows. You can find Red Hat, CentOS, Oracle Linux, Debian, Ubuntu, whatever you want. That said, we have our own Oracle Linux Vagrant boxes, and those boxes are the official one for Oracle Linux, available on our own yam.oracle.com website. And on GitHub, you can find also Oracle Linux Vagrant boxes with solutions ready to run on top. What does it mean? On GitHub, we started to work maybe more than 1 year ago to supply these kind of Vagrant boxes dedicated to Oracle products, but not only, even to third-party products running on top of Oracle Linux. So just to give you an example, today you can find the Oracle Database 18c ready to run. I can execute one single command line, one single command, and get an Oracle Database 18c running on my own laptop. And these are, obviously, there are so many other catalogs. Maybe these are the most famous. And obviously, you can also build your own. So we do not want to get outside of our company to get a Vagrant box. So you can build your own internally within your company. And this catalog can be used from all the developers working on a possible project. And to get a box, at the end, this is the syntax of the command. You just need to supply the name and the possible URL where to download the box. Yeah, and how can I create a Vagrant environment? So it's very, very easy. Personally, let me say, I never read the Vagrant documentation, just because it's so easy. At the end, in Vagrant, we have the concept of project. The project is a directory, a folder. So a folder is a Vagrant project, and within this folder, you have one unique configuration file named Vagrant file. The Vagrant file contains all the configuration of your single or more VMs. And over there, you can define the number of CPU, the amount of memory, the disk requirements, the network configuration, and even if one or more VMs are required for your Vagrant project. So you can even evaluate to build a multi-layer solution, or that can be, a Vagrant box dedicated to the database and another one dedicated to the application layer. You can even evaluate, for example, to have one unique VM running Docker. And on top of Docker, you can build your own applications. Yeah, as already said before, we have Oracle Linux images. Those are built and maintained by us. And today you can find Oracle Linux 6 and 7, the latest 6.10 and 7.6 over there. Those are also the operating system only images that are the foundation of all the other images that you can find on GitHub. Okay? And the cool point here is that you can start from those images, build your own solutions, install, for example, your own application, or get the same shared between a team of developers, and all of them can work on the same environment. And when your application is ready, by leveraging VirtualBox, at the end, the hypervisor on where the solution is running, you have the option to export your environment to possible further solution. Here we have examples like Oracle VM or the private cloud appliance. The same kind of thing can even happen for VMware, if today you are running VMware on production. And thanks to VirtualBox 6, you can also decide to get your own application by 4 simple clicks. You can decide to get your application running on the Oracle Cloud. On GitHub, as already said, we have a huge list that is constantly growing of Vagrant boxes dedicated to Oracle products and more. And for example, we have, for the Oracle database, we have 11G, 12C, the latest 18C, solutions like the Oracle Reapplication Cluster, DataGuard, Oracle Linux 7 with Docker, Kubernetes cluster. If you think the steps required to get a Kubernetes cluster configured are so many, here by leveraging this solution, you will require to execute only one single command, and you will get a free cluster Kubernetes running on top. And as already said, we also have further solutions like LAMP, so Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. Lately, we are also working, and soon should be available, to get a Vagrant box ready to run for Oracle Application Express. How many of you today are using Oracle Application Express? Yeah, okay, couple. And and we are also working on others. And the cool point here is that maybe you do not need, for example, the Oracle Database 18C, but those images, again, can be the starting point of your own requirements. So I need, for example, to install my own PLSQL application, right? I can start from the Oracle Database 18C and possibly add further steps to the automation. And at that point, by executing one single command, I can get my application up and running. Or I can decide to set up the development environment with particular releases of PHP or particular releases of Python that will be shared to a team of developers. And at that point, I'll be sure that everyone in the team, everyone working on a single application will use the same environment. And the same environment will be also used on production. There won't be any difference in terms of releases, operating system, or whatever, right? Now, let me show you a quick demo. I'll start from our own Vagrant boxes available on GitHub. Let's see. Okay, so I'm on my own laptop. Obviously, it's a Mac. I'm now going to clone what today is available on GitHub/Oracle Vagrant boxes. And over there, maybe it's better to mirror. Okay. So I just cloned what's available today on GitHub. Yeah, maybe the color is not good. As you can see, I already have a huge list of solutions there. I can decide, yeah, I want to run Docker engine. So this is my, Docker engine is my Vagrant project. Within the same, I have one file, the Vagrant file. And this is the configuration file for the entire project. As you can see, here within the unique file, we can decide what will be the host name of the VM that will be started, where I'm going to download the base box, amount of memory that I'm going to get for this VM. And the cool point here is related to the possible customization. So on the first boot of the VM, Vagrant will execute this script on the VM. And this script is your possible automation. You can also decide to have more than one. And within the script, I'm going to automate the Docker installation and configuration. So I'm going to install Docker engine. I'm going to define the Docker storage configuration. I'm going to enable and start Docker on the same. Yeah, I'm going to add obviously Vagrant to the Docker user group. And this is the only things that I'm going to execute here. So it's very easy. Now, two commands. One of them is just to check if everything is good with this machine. So by executing Vagrant status, I can see that the Vagrant project contains a machine that will be named OL 7 Docker engine. It's not created. The hypervisor on which Vagrant is going to rely is VBox. And by executing Vagrant up, Vagrant, we start to import the base box, that is the Oracle Linux 7 latest, available on yum.oracle.com. It's going to start the VM. It's going to configure the SSH port redirection on my host. Because the cool point here is that by leveraging VirtualBox networking, I'm able to run a VM with the service on top and get the same service shared by the host, right? So I do not need, for example, if I need to get someone connected to this environment, I do not need to do anything particular. the environment will listen on the host. Okay, so now the boot has been completed. I also have, only one moment. I also have a shared folder between the host and the VM running on top. Again, by leveraging VirtualBox shared folders. And then, after that, here, Vagrant is going to start my custom script. And the custom script will install Docker on the system. Yeah, now it's downloading. Yeah, great. So network is so fast. So it's downloading Oracle Linux 7. And just to be clear, I do not have any kind of account on my own environment. I just downloaded the Vagrant file from GitHub and executed Vagrant app. That's all. I do not have any hidden account on my laptop. So I'm downloading Docker. The same is going to be installed. Up. Now, by executing Vagrant SSH, I'm now on a Linux machine, Oracle Linux 7, 7.6. Docker daemon is already running. I only need to get a Docker container created. So I'm now on Oracle Linux 7. I have Docker ready to run. Now I'm downloading a Docker container running Oracle Linux 6. But here again, you can do whatever you want. So now I'm within the Docker container, right? macOS, I got by Vagrant a VM running Oracle Linux 7 with Docker on top, and by Docker, I got an Oracle Linux 6 container. And this is one of the examples that we have there. Yeah, the same kind of thing is there for Kubernetes. Let's see, for example, the Oracle database one. That could be another interesting. Yeah, I'm going to show you the script. We already saw the Vagrant file. It's very easy, very simple to manage. Here so those are shell scripts, right? You can execute whatever you want. It does not matter, okay? Yeah, here we have the Oracle database one. Yeah, managed by Gerald. Me and Gerald are used to work together on those solutions. Yeah, I can execute all the commands within the VM, whatever I want. I can download software externally, get the same running on the VM. I can customize the environment for the user. Here I'm installing the Oracle Database 18c, the Express edition here. Yeah, here I'm generating a random password for the user. I'm deciding the listener. Yeah, all the configuration for the Oracle database. And the cool point is that, again, you can really automate whatever you want. There's no limit. And even for example, suppose that you today are running Kubernetes on production, right? And you want to supply, again, Kubernetes or even Docker to your developers. And developer A is using Windows, B is using macOS, the other one is using Linux. I'm perfectly aware that Docker today is available on all the x86 platform, but it's not the same. It's not the same. I can decide to leverage Vagrant VBox, share a Vagrant file, a file of maybe 1 kilobit, to all my developers. Ask them to execute one command, and they will get the same environment where to develop. And again, here we have so many examples dedicated to Oracle Linux. The same kind of thing can be done. Let me show you this is the Vagrant catalog from HashiCorp, the official HashiCorp Vagrant catalog. You can look for whatever you want. Windows, okay, it's there. Ubuntu, Red Hat, CentOS, Oracle, whatever you want, JDK, right? This is an environment, Ubuntu, Trusty64, JDK 8, Graal, let me see. It's not there, Graal. Yeah, and here you have the concept of provider. Providers, at the end, is the possible hypervisor or container solution running in the background. Vagrant can rely on a provider. VirtualBox is one of the providers. Other providers could be VMware, libvirt, Docker, and even cloud solutions. So I can decide to create my own customization on Vagrant and VirtualBox, and then get the same executed on a cloud solution if I want, or on VMware, or on libvirt, on KVM. While if I go to GitHub, Oracle Vagrant boxes, here we have our own list of boxes available. Within each box you have a README, where at the end, yeah, you just need to clone what's available on GitHub and execute Vagrant app. And this list is going to explode. We are really working hard on this. Most of the time, we have only to wait to get legal approval to get everything done, everything available. But yeah, we are doing great. We started just 1 year ago. We already have 280 stars over there. Yeah, and some people from different communities are also helping us on this. Yeah, I think that this could be something interesting for you, could be a starting point for you. Or you can also evaluate to get examples and then build your own. At the end, Vagrant, VirtualBox, Oracle Linux today are free to use. So, and you can build your own automation there. Coming back to the slides, yeah, we already had the demo. I'm going to leave a question and answer. You will find on the presentation more references dedicated to VirtualBox, Oracle Linux, and also Vagrant. I'm going to leave you those slides in. So I think that those will be shared on the Oracle Code website. If not, feel free to reach out to me, simon.cotter@oracle.com, and I'll share the same with you, because I also have some slides reminding the most common commands like Vagrant app, Vagrant SSH, and further commands available on Vagrant. Okay, yeah, so any question? Yeah. Yeah, I know of this issue. Yeah, he said that, so VirtualBox is built on two different components, the base package and the extension pack. For DevOps, the base package is more than enough. Because at the end, the extension packs gives you features like USB 2, USB 3 devices for the VM, encryption for the VM, remote control of the VM, PXE boot, and so on. But for the DevOps target, you only need the base package. Related to the licensing, yeah, we know that we have this kind of issue related to the minimum amount of named user licenses, and we are working on this. Yeah. And yeah, I forgot to show you one important thing related to VirtualBox. Let me show you. Okay, so this is the VirtualBox interface, VirtualBox 6 interface, and obviously it's the same on all x86 platforms. We have now a new feature. So this is the list of my VMs that I have on my own laptop. As you can see, I also have an OL 7 Docker engine that I just started 10 minutes ago. I can decide to get my VM exported, and between the formats of the export, I also have a new format, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Here I can decide the profile, so here I have my Oracle Cloud account defined, and the same accounts can be managed by the VirtualBox GUI. Now when I click Continue, VirtualBox connects to the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, evaluate the shapes available, storage available, configuration available, and at that point, here, I can decide what will be the name of my VM when it will run on the Oracle Cloud, what is the bucket where the VM will be uploaded, if I want to keep the uploaded file, if I want to start the instance, so to start the VM on the Oracle Cloud, once ready, the shape of the instance, so the amount of CPU and RAM, size of the disk, which one will be the network used on the cloud, if I want to use a public IP address for the VM that will run on the cloud, and then even the availability domain. As Bob showed it today, for each data center we have 3 different availability domains. And if I click on export, the upload process is now started. Yeah, I think that in not more than 15 minutes, this VM will run on the cloud with a public IP address associated, and it could be my production environment. Yeah, because I forgot to show you the steps. Coming back on questions. Any other question related to VirtualBox, Vagrant, Oracle Linux? Yeah.
Do you have any idea of, are there any plans of enabling VirtualBox to run OS X as a guest?
Huh.
Or even iOS?
Yeah, it's something not easy, and I can say why. You are authorized to run OS X on VirtualBox if you are running VirtualBox on OS X, right? Just because OS X can run only on a Mac. You are not authorized to run OS X on a Windows or even Linux computer. And obviously we are perfectly aware of this, and we cannot share a solution that will grant to everyone to run OS X on Linux or Windows. It's a license issue, right? It's a license issue. One thing on which we are working on is related to the option to introduce guest edition for OS X. Yeah, but obviously we won't work to hack OS X to get the same running on Windows or Linux. We won't do this.
Well, that's fine. Maybe
yeah.
some
We are working actually on the guest edition for OS X because I'm on High Sierra and I want to run Yosemite. At that point, you will be able to run it even with guest editions. Yeah. But that said, we want work to get OS X running on top of a Windows or Linux machine. So we won't favor the possible hacking of OS X. Any other question? Yeah?
You showed us the deployment of this VM to the Oracle Cloud by UI. Is that possible by CLI?
Yep. Yep. The same kind of thing can be done by CLI. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And we are also working to improve the experience for the Oracle Cloud. Also because, you know, as you can imagine, you can export to the cloud, but you can even import from the cloud. So we are working to improve the experience and the possible integration between VirtualBox and the Oracle Cloud. Yeah. Any other question? Okay, good. So thank you very much, guys, and have a great day.
Make, break, build.